Neither the students nor the government would back down. And now the struggle between the reformers and the conservatives, which had racked the party for the last decade, came to a head.
Deng Xiaoping continued to believe it was turmoil. Since it was turmoil, it was completely bad, and there was nothing good about it.
Just hours after the meeting, reformer Zhao Ziyang came to the square. With tears in his eyes, he apologized for not having been able to resolve the crisis. This was Zhao Ziyang's last public appearance. The hardliners stripped him of his posts and banned him from public life. The next day, the government declared martial law. The students called off the hunger strike. As troops tried to enter the city, the people of Beijing blocked their way. For 2 long weeks, they stopped the army from reaching Tiananmen Square. But on June 3rd, the situation changed. Students heard that troops were forcing their way through the crowds to the square. By evening, the citizens of Beijing were fighting pitched battles with the troops.
I never imagined the PLA would open fire. People told me the army would take control and would kill if necessary. I said I didn't believe it because I had been a soldier. During our political study sessions, the major lesson was that the job of the PLA was to serve the people. When I heard shots, I ran out and saw pink tracers all over the sky. I didn't know what to do. The only thing I knew was I should stay. But to do what? Wait for my death? Or fight back? I had no idea at all.
The demonstrators who chose to remain gathered in the center of the square. By early morning, the troops had surrounded them.
The soldiers, their helmets were shiny, and their bayonets gave off a cold light under the lamps. We had to retreat. We linked arms to make a solid line to march out, with a flag at the front. As we were leaving, bullets whistled past us in the air. The sound of shooting was very intense. From behind, the tanks raced to scatter us, but they couldn't. So some people at the rear were crushed to death. The people at the back told those at the front to hurry. But they couldn't go faster than the tanks. There were screams from behind us. The sound of terror. My heart was filled with grief, but I didn't shed a single tear. I was numb. I just grit my teeth in rage.
As the sun rose on the morning of June 4th, the students finally headed back to their homes. It is estimated that more than 200 people died that night. Most of the casualties were ordinary citizens, killed in the streets leading to the square. The government arrested thousands who had joined in the demonstrations. Many of the movement's young leaders fled abroad. A few chose to stay. They were sentenced to one prison term after another.
I had stomach pains. They said I was faking it. They said I could control my stomach and make myself throw up. I said, "You've got to be kidding." But they didn't believe me. They hated me for not cooperating with them. I was furious. I said, "Okay, I don't need help anymore." I want you to watch me kill myself. Then I started to hit my head on the wall. I shouted, "The Chinese are so pathetic." Those who can hear me, just remember what I'm saying. I will never be Chinese in my next life. Don't be Chinese. It is too horrible to be Chinese, too sad.
As the world watched, horrified, foreign governments condemned the crackdown. International businesses recalled their employees and scaled back their investments. Deng Xiaoping was unrepentant. On June 26th, Chinese television showed him congratulating the army for a job well done. As 1989 came to a close, Deng and the rest of the party watched communism collapse in Eastern Europe and the Soviet Union. They held firm to their position.
事实证明，中国共产党和中国政府为平息动乱、暴乱所采取的决策和措施是正确的，是符合全国各处人民共同意愿和根本利益的。
天时地就一转红，蒙住我双眼呀，蒙住了他，对风我看见了山峰，我说我看见了幸福。